Hey everyone, welcome to Tint Wisdom number 106. Today I will be joined with Christopher Peterson from D&L Professional Window Tinting out of Maryland. He's running a couple minutes behind, so figured we had two options. We could go live or we could wait, and obviously I picked go live, so here we are. So we will take this as an opportunity to catch up. It's been a while since I've been able to, or I've done a Tint Wisdom that was solo. Not that today's is going to be solo. However, we have a solo few minutes to kill together. So, what's up, Jamal? Jamal, I'm curious. The tool, the Slinger Holster thing that we sent you. Do you use it? Do you like it? Do you have any feedback on it? What are your honest thoughts? We have 50 of them coming out, and they should be done soon. And they're going to be kind of like a limited run with, we did a really cool design around it. So I'm curious what you thought, your honest thoughts, if you've gotten to use it so far, if it's something you haven't put down, or if it's something you haven't picked up. So yeah, if you could let me know, that'd be great. And what's up, David? Nice to see you. So something that's fairly new is the Tint Wiz Shop. You can access it by going to tintwiz.com and then clicking the shop tab. And what you'll find there is you're going to find different like clothing and different merchandise that's Tint Wiz related. So there's hoodies, there's t-shirts, there's some designs for the upcoming window film convention. And then what we also have is we have a scale and a printer and labels that go along with the inventory system. So that's the inventory system in Tint Wiz, which you can manage, you can use to manage your inventory for window film, for vinyl wraps, as well as paint protection film. And you can do that a couple ways. So you can obviously keep track of it by manually entering your cuts, or you can use the weight system. And the weight system uses a scale, so that's the scale that's on the shop area. And what that does is it allows you to take a roll of film, whether it be vinyl wrap, tint, or paint protection film, any roll of film, and basically throw it on a scale and know, down to a couple inches, how much film you have left on that roll. So in the shop, you'll find that scale. It's about $25, I think, in the shop. However, if you're an active Tint Wiz user, you can get a coupon code in the support area. Just jump into the support area, ask us for a coupon code, and that'll be good for 100% off. So making it free. So, what else you'll find there, what you also find there in the inventory area of the shop is you're going to find a label printer. And that label printer is also for the window film inventory system. And it allows you to print QR coded labels that also say what is the film, like what is the material. And it also says like, the width, the length, the remaining square foot, the remaining linear feet, and so on. And again, that printer is there if you want to buy it, but you can get it for free by going through the support and just asking for the coupon code. So in regards to that pouch, or what do you want to call it, like a holster, the Slinger tool, Jamal said, yes, it's nice, man. And then Chris said, what pouch are you talking about? So a few episodes back, a gentleman by the name Wayne came on and showed us like a Slinger tool. And I don't have it because I sent it to Jamal, but it's basically kind of like a plastic holster that clips into your belt, and you can keep a blade, a squeegee, tri-edge. I think there was something else, maybe another squeegee. So it's really cool. It's kind of ergonomic. It's not something that, like you would keep all your tools on by any means. It's not the end-all solution to tool transportation, but it seemed like a really cool, well-made, just effective way to keep those go-to tools on your side, or even just like if you're going to throw that in a bag or have it in your car or whatnot. So we had some made or we're having some made that have the Tint Wiz logo on them, and then they are hydro dipped with the Tint Wiz pattern. So we're having those made. They're going to have the tools included with them, so they'll come pre-filled. And we're having 50 of them made, and I'm looking forward to sending them out. And I expect them to be done, I think, within a couple of weeks. They're on the last phase. They're in the hydro dip phase, and I think that's it. So, yeah, I think it has a fusion squeegee, obviously like an Olfa or red dot. And again, like, you know, I think Wayne came out with these Slinger tools a couple months ago, and he's just getting started with it, but it seems like it was an idea he's had for a while. And he had previously developed a window film visualizer, mainly for cars, but I believe they do have like residential commercial as well. And it's a film shade visualizer that allows you to select the shade of film and see what it looks like on a car. Like, you know, a lot of manufacturers have versions of it. And the version he made is kind of, I think, maybe a little fancier version that's meant to be used in the sales process. So the idea that you can, you know, really try to show your customer that what the film would look like and help them decide between the shade and maybe even upsell them. And they have the different brands in there and so on, different like brands of films to try and match that and so on. So anyway, he still does that. He still has that. He still has that website and that business, but this is his new business. So in support of his new business, we're coming out with those, and we might have a couple on the shop, and then we're just going to send some out to whoever. So that's that. So back to the shop. If you haven't checked out the shop, you definitely want to, because there's a lot of basically the idea behind it is, you know, you're going to find some cool merchandise. So what I mean by that is some Tint Wiz stuff, some hats, some shirts, some hoodies. And the idea is the way the shop's set up is it gives us some flexibility to kind of add to it. So we had the tri-edges on there, and we are sold out. And but you'll see the tri-edges on there, and you'll see them back in stock soon. And basically the idea is, as we come up with new things, new signs, new banners, new clothing, new tools, whatever it is, you know, you're going to see a pop up on the shop. You'll see coupon codes for active users to basically get 100% off all this new stuff. And then if you're not an active user on Tint Wiz, you still have the opportunity to like purchase it. And that's the idea behind the shop. So the shop's going to be something that's always changing. We're always adding to it. And, you know, anything we put on there, like the quality of the shirts or the hoodies or the hats, they're, you know, like they're quality that I believe in. So like, you know, you're going to notice low prices, and I'm not just saying that, but like, we purposely, you know, price everything really low, but I feel like the quality is as high as we could find for the hoodies and for the shirts and so on, and for the hats. So I hope you guys like it. You know, a guarantee we also have, you'll see it with the hoodies, is like a size match, like a size. Like we want you to have a perfect fit. So like what I don't want you to ever do is you buy a large and you should have bought a medium, or you buy an extra large and you should have bought a large, or whatever it is. So what we can also guarantee is when you purchase something on the site, if it doesn't fit you perfectly, then just let us know and we'll ship you out another size at absolutely no cost to you, and you don't have to return the first one. So it's because, you know, I don't like there's nothing I like less than getting something that I really want and it not fitting right. I want it to fit right. I want you to like it and to love it. So if you don't get the perfect fit, just say the word and we'll have a replacement to you at absolutely no charge. And like I said, you don't have to even mail back the other one, because that's a pain in the ass. So Jamal said, yeah, man, some hats. I would love to wear your hats. So yeah, we added some hats last night, and or maybe 2 nights ago. And so we have 2 hats. We have a visor, and we have like a beanie. And Lance asked, what's the web address, or is it Tint Wiz? So it's tintwiz.com, and then you'll just go to the shop tab. And you can also go there directly by going to shop.tintwiz.com. But same idea. You either go to tintwiz.com, and then you click on shop, or you can go to shop.tintwiz.com. And like I said, you're going to see, you know, an evolution of products. So we have another tool being made right now. It's going to be purple. It's going to have Tint Wiz's logo on it. It's a tool from a really, really great person and company, and it's a tool that everybody completely loves. And we're going to have a version of that on the site coming up soon. We're going to have some other products. Like I don't want to really get into like one of the things I really try to do is I try to keep my mouth shut until it's actually out. But I'm also really excited that there's some products that I think every single tinter uses and for some reason are expensive and sort of hard to get. And we're going to come out with a solution for that and make them low priced, high quality, and very available. And then it's one of those things that'll be available on the site, and then we'll also mail them out to Tint Wiz users and supporters to show our appreciation. So Jamal said, I was thinking that make a hoodie with my logo and your logo combined. What do you think? Let's talk to Harry. So I love that idea. I'll definitely talk to Carrie. And we've done that sort of thing with like some other shops where there's like a collaboration, and Carrie is just perfect at it, especially in this case if she's already been working on your logo and she works with us. Like it's so easy. So if anybody wants to do ever like custom stuff, I support it so much and I really appreciate that. So like I'll take care of the legwork. I'll get the design done. I'll do anything needed to make it as easy as possible because I appreciate your support and you be willing, like, wanting to do a collab in the first place. So um, David, I will send you out some patches and some beanies. And there is Chris. So here we go. What's
How
up,
you doing?
Chris?
Not much. Starting to be a little late there.
It's all right. Better late than never.
Yeah.
All right. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. Doing all right. Long day. Long day.
Yeah. So tell me more about that. Who are you? Where did you get started? What did you do all day?
So pretty much, I work at DNL Tinting. I've been that's where I actually learned how to tint from scratch. Uh, Before I was actually tinting, I actually washed dishes at a restaurant right up the street. And one of my brother's older friends actually worked for DNL for 5 years before he got me a job there and I started there. Um, and ever since then, I call it on and just started working. And just right now, I'm the shop manager and pretty much just go from there. I can pretty much do vinyl, uh, paint protection. I'm pretty big on paint protection and then automotive tint. And then this year, I've been doing more flat glass than ever before, also.
And what do you attribute that to?
Um, just we're just getting bigger jobs and they just need more experienced hands on these bigger jobs that have these tricker windows or boat windows that are really small. Kind of a small guy, so I fit into a lot of spaces that other people don't.
Okay, I got it. So would you say like you personally are getting into more flat glass jobs because your company's demand for it, yeah? And your skill
Yeah,
level being a good
they're
fit.
just getting bigger jobs. We're just able to finish those jobs that much quicker because they have me there compared to one of the guys that are less experienced that I can move a little quicker than them and keep the progress moving also.
What's your preference, like as far as things to do? If you got to pick, what would you do every day if you could just pick it out? Like what would it look like? What would your day look like?
Just paint protection all day.
And why is
I
that?
mean, not a lot of people do it. It's harder than what people really put into it to make a job right and to be able to freehand an entire car and not have a pattern for it. I mean, that's it's art there. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of experience to not be able to cut that car.
So
And
let's start there. Why would you be like bulking it? Why would you be freehanding it instead of using a pattern?
um, most patterns that I run into, there's always something that's not right. Then I'm throwing a piece away. Their cutouts are bigger than what I'd like. Um, just stuff like that. I wrap a lot of my edges more than most of the patterns out there that I use.
Okay. So do you do? I mean, I'm sorry, you cut out a little. Do
No, you
you?
go. ahead.
So do you, do you use patterns at all?
Yeah, most of the time I'll freehand the full hood, full fenders. Mirrors, if they fit properly, I'll use them or freehand them. Most bumpers I'll actually computer cut.
What film brand do you use for paint protection?
3M.
Is that
So we're actually the shop that I work for right now is actually a 3M Pro shop. So that's what we all our products are 3M for you.
nice? So when I asked you what you would do if you could have your like if you could pick your day, what would you do? Like, and you said paint protection film, and then I said why? You said, well, it's harder than many people think to like do a great job and so on, not cut the car and so on. So I guess then I want to come back to that and say like, do you get more satisfaction out of that because you know the level of expertise it takes to get the job done? Like, is that versus maybe like tinting a window, which may be easier?
Yeah, tinting windows, especially the cars now, have gotten a lot easier than the older cars. I mean, you can ask any tinter, and they'll tell you that the older they are, the harder they get most of the time.
Hmm.
Um, Nowadays, most cars are almost the exact same window, a little bit different, same shape almost. I mean, you can shrink a door and fit it on the next 10 cars almost because it's almost got the same amount of fingers. So it's real repetitive compared to paint protection. I'm not getting the same car. We don't do dealership work like that. So it's the person coming off the street that's coming getting done. The Corvette, the Mercedes, you know what I mean? Different cars every time I do one. It's sometimes I get like the Stingray. And when they first came out, I got a lot of them. So it got repetitive after a while, but it still it still was interesting because every time I try something a little different, and most of the time it'd come out better.
And what type of cars do you most commonly apply PPF to? Like what are the ranges? What do you see most often?
Probably Corvettes. We get a lot of variety. Like I said, it's not a lot of the same car. It might be a Mercedes, but there's so many different models. I've done a lot of different models because there is so many different ones. I've done entire vehicles, or I've done just the front end. So it all depends on that model and what they want.
Right. So what would like how long have you been doing PPF for?
Let's see, 12, 12 years, I would say.
And what kind of like I'm not trying to like come up with stats like but what in a week, what do you typically like what kind of volume of PPF are you typically applying? Like to get an idea. Is it something you're doing like what are you touching one car, are you touching 10 cars?
Not it it varies. It tapered off some because of everything that is happening. But sometimes I could do 10, 15 different ones in a week. Not just me. I do have another tech that actually does it also. Um, but right now it's one, two a week sometimes. Everything going on, it's definitely changed the whole market. Um, so we're just working through it.
In what way?
What, working through it basically?
No, no, no. I'm
Or
sorry. Like, I think it froze up a bit. You said with everything going on, it changed the market, and that was where I
yeah.
meant the question of like, in what way have you
So
ways
well,
have you seen the market
first
changing?
the paint protection. I've seen, like I said, normally right now I would be doing really good. As it gets colder, I was doing really good in the winter time. January is usually my best month. But as like I said, as COVID has hit, it's definitely tapered off from what it used to be. You know.
Do you think? And you may have no idea, and I'm not. I have no, and I have no idea. That's why I'm asking you. But do you know if like that is the case with like most of the other shops in your area? Some of the other shops are no idea, or it's you know what I mean, or businesses, not just shops, but you can kind of get that sense in all businesses when things are just generally slower. Or do you think it could be like your business more than others, and so you know? Because I think everybody's different. Every area is different. Everybody's market exposure and type of client and everything could play some role.
Yeah, it's got a lot of different factors. I have seen a lot of cars that do come in and get their windows tinted, and they had somebody do it in the area, and it's not the best. So I have a little bit is probably just people aren't spending the money on it because it's extra that they don't know because a lot of uncertain times right now. So
Sure.
they're not spending on that extra thing sometimes, but I see not so good paint protections in my area. I think so. I see people trying to start putting it on cars in my area, basically. So it's a couple things that pop up. I think.
Hold on one second. So we're just having some internet. It's getting a little glitchy, but so all right. There's been a couple. You can hear me, okay? I think you're frozen. I'm gonna. All right, there you
Being
are.
really
Can you
choppy.
hear me okay now? Can you hear me okay, Christopher?
Yeah,
Okay. You there? Okay.
yeah.
All right, cool. Just waiting because it's a little glitchy on my end. Okay, so question for you. There's been a couple comments in here in the live stream, and one of them says Christopher Peterson is the real deal, super talented. And then there was another one where you were called a living legend. Tell me more about why, like, what are they referring to?
Um, Mostly it's probably from the 10 off. I've gone every year since 2014 was the first year I went and when I was in Baltimore and ended up winning the automotive division the first year competing. And most years I compete in paint protection and automotive. And I, I noticed it's not every year, but most of the time right now it's been I make the finals in both divisions.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. How do you win the first year?
Um, I just did the best, just like I do at my shop every day, and it came out.
I
Mine
know,
was cleaner than everybody.
but you know, everybody assumes that that's what they're going to do, and is you know what I mean? It's like some
Yep,
everybody thinks I'm
it's
just going to do what I do every day. I'm awesome, you know, like
yep, yeah. Um, I don't know. I've pushed myself at the shop before. I even thought about going to Tinal. It the friend that actually got me into the job that I'm at now is he actually passed away in a bike accident, and I've always pushed myself to do better, and I've always thanked him for it because he got me into the career that I love doing. I don't mind going to work every day. I don't mind working 6 days a week if I had to. It doesn't matter. I like going
that's awesome,
there,
and that's obviously like in part because of what you do for a living, but I would imagine it's also the company you work for, like work with and are a part of. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're all it's a bunch of group of guys that I can trust. I mean, I can trust my kids with them. That's how much I trust them. They're a great group of guys, and they're all very, very talented. Some do paint protection, some do vinyl. It depends, and we got a lot of guys that really excel in black glass, and then excel in the automotive division. So it's a variety, but it's a great group of guys.
Would you say your company like would you say as a whole like hiring is a challenge or not so much?
It's hard to find a guy that fits it, that can stand the heat in the kitchen, basically. I mean, it's it's demanding. It's people think they can walk in and watch a YouTube video and put it on window just as good as I can. And they get to it and they think they did a good job, and then I start pointing out all the stuff they did wrong. And they're like, man. I didn't think I did that bad, but it's a lot into it when they start hitting with the card and it's the opposite way they're supposed to hold it and they're back dragging and it's like no, you gotta watch. It takes a lot, you know. It's not an easy job to learn. Basically, it can be learned by anybody, but it's just like any job. You got to put the effort into it.
So do you all typically train people, or are you just looking for that experienced person to either be ready or get out?
No, we prefer to train them. Most places will tell you, when you get a guy that knows what they're doing, they always have bad habits some way or another that doesn't exactly fit your job the way you like it. So it's still a learning curve either way. But we don't have a lot of guys that come in that fit the bill anyway that can they say they can do certain things and they can't do those certain things cleanly like they say they can, you know.
And we're disconnected. Um, Okie dokie. And we're back.
Sorry about that. Somebody hit my doorbell and it made everything go
No worries.
away.
No worries. So Lauren said, Chris, you have to tell him your backstory and how you got into the business and how quickly you excelled in it. So, I mean, whether we talk about how quickly you excelled in the business or how much you excelled in the competition, like what stands out to you? What do you kind of feel like? What is it? Just a knack for it? Are you just hypercritical of your work? Are you just do you high volume? I mean, what comes to your mind when you think about like what gives you kind of an edge?
My wife always tells me I'm my worst critic because I'll pick a window apart. You can ask most of the guy that I know that go to the tin off that I hang out with. When I come out, I always tell them that, oh, I didn't make it. I had too many spots. I seen this one, and most of the time I do make the finals anyway. But I'm just super picky about my work, so I'm very particular.
Were you planning on competing this year, or are you planning on competing?
Yep, I'll be there. I'll be in all three automotive, paint protection, and black glass this year.
And how many? What will this make your like times competing? This will be your like
Oh, I don't know. I've never done all three, so I
no,
don't
but I
know.
mean like this is at least like your sixth or eighth time competing.
Like I said, since 2014.
So there's six right there, and I figured a couple categories, so I added to it. But I got you. So about six
Oh
years,
yeah,
7 years, and
yeah.
that's awesome, man. And how many times have you won? So,
Man,
a little,
broke up again.
little internety.
Okay,
There you are.
I didn't hear any of that
Oh, it's all right. How many times have you won?
once.
Oh,
I've
okay.
made the finals
Uh,
a bunch of times, but I only made the top three once. Paint protection, I've gotten fourth was the closest. I just make the finals. I mean,
and
it I just can't get those last three for some reason.
and for the paint protection competition, I imagine you're. What do they have you do? Like bulk a hood?
No, so the paint protection it's pre-cut, so you got a hood, your mirrors, and then the final is the bumper itself. But it's all patterns. You can bulk if you want. Um, Everyone I've seen bulk just doesn't finish. You just don't have the time to put the detail that you need. Basically, I mean, you could do a piece, but not for competition. It's hard to do it in a time frame like that.
So when you look forward, where do you like when you look forward, like there's the short term right now, which is all that's going on, the uncertainty and so on. And then there's the long term of like, where do you see 10 years from now, 20 years from now? And like, I don't know, what do those look like for you? Do you see any
So, I
big
mean,
changes in the short term or visions in the long term?
no, I have really good job security right now. It would it would be really hard, especially with all the uncertainty. Um, I've been lucky enough to just work right through it all. Not everybody has that luck, and
Mm.
my wife works for the government also, so she's been working from home, so she's lucky with that also. Um, so we just like I said, the short term is just probably just to ride everything out until at least that gets over with, and then I mean, long term there is always to run a shop. You know what I mean? I'm the shop manager now. I've been there for a while, and like I said, the end is actually run a shop at one point.
And how is that transition like from obviously being somebody who has excelled as, like in the shop to then moving into shop manager where, I would imagine a duty is now like managing other people, like there's more to it. Was that something you were just kind of naturally good at, or was there like a transition of having to like manage people you work with?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still on the floor just as much. Uh, but I just have more responsibility. I do other stuff. Um, it's not like it's a 50-man crew or anything like that. We're not a big crew, but we're like I said, we're all very talented, so we're a pretty high volume shop with the small crew that we have. Um, but it's just something that we work out.
So if somebody's listening and they kind of fit the profile of like maybe they just got into tinting, they can tint a car, but they don't feel super confident in their tint ability and so on. Um, where would you say they go from there? Have you had experience with tint schools? Do you have an opinion on like some of the online versions? Do you think a mixture of both? Like, what do you think would be the best way? Go work at a shop, go work at the best shop.
Yeah, I mean, really, all shops are different. They're all gonna have their different technique, but you can take all of my guys and they all learn the basics in the very beginning the exact same way. But if you watch them tint, they tint exactly different. They're, none of their moves are the exact same unless they're really, really close friends. They might have picked up that same exact knickknack, but for the most part, they all tint differently. What I would tell that person is to find somebody that is going to put into time to teach you the right way. Um, Tint schools are okay, but you're paying for a week when you can't learn any job in a week. You can't be a mechanic in a week. It's I always tell people it takes most people. There's a problem with the network.
So far, so good. I can hear you and you're clear,
Okay, let's back out one.
unless the problem's coming. I think there's the problem. Now you're back.
I don't know.
No, you're back.
Got me
Good.
now?
You're good.
Man, like that. Yeah, now I forget what I was talking about.
Tinting
What
schools,
were we
like,
talking about?
you can't learn a trade in a week. I
Oh,
think the idea is maybe like you could maybe take, you might go into the tinting school with a little bit of experience and you leave with maybe taking, instead of what you would have taken a year to learn, maybe you learn in a week. But you're not going to learn what you could learn in 10 years, of course, in a weekend. But maybe it just speed you up a little bit. It could move you along.
I mean, I don't know how much it can speed you up. I mean, I can. It doesn't make sense that it can speed you up too much. Maybe in the very beginning, just to watch some things, or maybe to speed you up on a window. Yes, you could get some speed up if you go there specifically because you can't get that Corvette. You can learn that in a week's time to learn a really good trick, but you can't learn how to tint windows in a week compared to a year or even a month. You give a guy that comes out of a tint school in a week, and you give me another guy a month with me, and know way more than that one guy in that one week. Hands down, every time.
Hmm. So when I was reading a comment from Jamal. He said, "Well, man, some guys aren't good for tint. They just don't like tint, and they are better for PPF. So I try out PPF. I didn't like it too much. Different animal. Yeah, I mean, tint and PPF definitely different. Could be both, but definitely
Yep,
different."
yep, yep.
Lawrence mentioned that your protege competed and made the finals, and not to let you fool me.
Yep. He's a good group of guys.
Did you hand cut tint as well, all of it, or do you ever use the plotter?
We use plotter mostly at work.
Okay,
Um, I always prefer hand cutting over plotter. It's always going to fit no matter what computer cuts it and what program it comes from. I'm going to put in a better cut than the computer. I mean, it's a proven fact. But like I said, we're a high volume shop, so we have a great system worked out for the shop that we're at, and all of our customers are happy. So,
in the last like year or so, do any physical tools stand out to you that have been kind of game changers in your installation, or something that you've just found more helpful that I don't know?
so I would say the tool that has switched the most between both of our stores in the last year or two come out would be the Fusion Handle Shorty. So that one, the handle of it is is great actually. The year before they actually came out with it, um, I was talking to one of the people at the show. They said because I was talking to them, and they had a handle that was close to it, but it had a big bulky ring towards the between the handle and the Blue Max blade almost. And I told her how that thing always got in everybody's hand. That's why nobody really bought it at our shop. And she said because of what I said, that they went towards that direction at least. So that one, and then recently would be the yellow blue mag. Well, not blue, but the yellow blade for the hand.
Got it. Cool. Well, is there anything that we didn't really touch on that you wanted to kind of get out there?
Not really. I mean, I'm I'm pretty much an open book. I mean, I tell my story all the time. I've had two jobs my entire life. I wash dishes, and then I tint windows. And like I said, I love what I do, and I was lucky enough to find something that I enjoy doing at a young age, like I did. And like I said, the shop that I'm at takes good care of me, and like I said, I've been working this whole time, so I can't complain.
That's awesome, man. I mean, you've obviously inspired others, and everybody only has great things to say about you. So um, you're obviously a valuable part of the community, and thanks for doing what you do. And I love the fact that like you love where you work so much too, because it shows like examples of, not that there's a lot of shops out there, but it shows examples of ones like where people say like, oh, you can't hire somebody good because they're just going to turn around and go open a shop and compete with you, and everybody's lazy, and not everybody's lazy, and not everybody's going to go around you and do shisty things. There are great people. They're great people to work for.
Yep.
There's great people that want to work for you, and I feel like you brought an example of both those here. So
Well, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I try to do everything by example. I have three kids, so I try to do my best. I go to work every day, and I come home and spend time with them, and I do what I can. We just keep moving, you know.
it's nice, man. Well, I'll see you in Orlando at the Tint Off then.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it, and I'll have my wife, so she'll have a good time too.
Good deal. I hope everybody can make it. I hope there's a good turnout. It seems like a lot of people are foregoing, but with everything, like you said, uncertain times, it's hard to see. So we'll just see where that goes. But I'm looking forward to it, man. And thank you for taking the time to do this. I know it was a rush from work. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you sharing your story and your kind of your tips and experiences.
Well, I appreciate the chance, and like I said, I'm always down for it. So it was always a good time to talk. And I mean, like I said, if anybody does need hints, I don't mind helping anybody or anything. I've always been, like I said, an open book. I don't hide anything. I'm straightforward, and I pretty much tell you the truth. That's my only downside. I don't have too much of a lie bone in me. I just tell you how it is, and if it hurts your feelings, I'm sorry for it, but it's just how it comes out.
Well, if anybody's looking to compete this year for the first time, I would be knocking on your door, Chris, because I feel like the first year it's hard to even know what all the rules are, let alone have like a competitive advantage. It's,
Oh, it's ridiculous. The first year, I was so terrified of it. I mean, I looked at all the experience, triple, four times what I had in it, and I'm like, how am I even going to compete against these people that have won this year or won the year before or have 32 years experience? I'm like, how am I going to? They know way more than me. I'm like, the only thing I'm going to take from this is just experience and as much knowledge as I can get from every person that I could. And I mean, that's always my thoughts every year I go is find out the new tools, new tricks, anything I can that helps us back at the shop that makes us better, cleaner, smarter tinners. I'm gonna try to find it out and bring it back with me for everybody. But it definitely super scary the first year. I mean, every year I'm scared, but it's always fun, and it's it's an experience that everybody should go to it if they think they're good enough. Put it to the test. Come to the show.
yeah, and if not, come watch. And like you said, meet vendors and look at tools and find out things that could pay you back for the rest of your career, and relationships that can be invaluable as well. So it really is one of those things
Absolutely.
that everybody should go.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. I'll see you then. Thank you again for doing this, and thanks everybody for watching.
No problem. You guys have a great night.
You as
Thank you.
well.